bookish friends, how we doing today? It's Heather with Belle's Library, and we are in a different setting today. We're going to see how this works out. I have actually already filmed this video, and I just did not like the footage, so I'm going to try and do it a little differently. And so today we are going to talk about 21 books that are releasing in September that I am highly anticipating and excited about, and I've got my computer here so I can reference a little bit better. Sorry if I end up looking at it kind of a lot throughout this video. I'm going to try to talk to you guys mostly, but just so I can make sure I have all of the names and different stuff. I can't memorize 21 different books and all the names and all the everything, but I definitely am very excited for so many books coming out. And also, to preface this as well, these are according to Goodreads coming out in September. I know these dates will change sometimes, so just, bear with me a little bit here. Also, 21 books, so excited because that's definitely my favorite number. I just feel like that's lucky that all of these books are just going to be amazing and I'm going to love them all when I eventually read them. Oh, so many books to read. It's crazy. Anyways, let's get into it. So before we get fully into this, I do have a good chunk of books included in this that are from authors of color. Some of them are African American, some Mexican American, some Asian American, just a good mix. So I will let you know as we're going through the 10 out of 21 books that are from authors of color, and then at the end I'll just kind of let you know all 10 of those. And then I also think we're going to break this into genre categories. So I will have contemporary and romance in a section, sci-fi and fantasy in a section, and then a little bit of like mystery, thriller, horror books that are included as well. And I'll give you guys some times here if you just want to go to those genres. But let's go ahead and start with the contemporary and romance books. I'm pretty sure there was 8 of those. So the first book I have here is Everybody Looking. This is by Candace Elo, and she is an author of color. And it says, this is a debut novel in verse in the style of Elizabeth Acevedo and Jason Reynolds. Read books from both of them and loved it. And it's going to tell the story of Ada, who is a daughter of an immigrant father and an African-American mother, and her struggle to find a place for herself in America and in her own family. So definitely excited to kind of be reading from a different perspective, and she has definitely some different family dynamics going on since her father did immigrate, and obviously she's African American, and I don't know, we'll see. So next we're going to talk about Miss Meteor. I seriously love the cover of this one. It is super cute and super fun, and yeah, enjoying that a lot. So we actually have 2 authors of color on this one. We have Melor K. Mejia. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but just, bear with me a little bit. And then we have Anna Marie McLemore as well. And so this one is about a Miss Meteor beauty pageant, and it says there hasn't been a winner of Miss Meteor beauty pageant who looks like Lita Perez or Chicky Quintanilla in all its history. And that's not the only reason Lita wants to enter the contest, or why her ex-best friend Chicky wants to help her. So it's about some underdog story vibes going on in this pageant, and I am here for that. That sounds adorably cute. Next, we're going to talk about Early Departures. This one's by Justin A. Reynolds. Again, we have an author of color here, and he also authored Opposite of Always. I haven't read that one, but that one's been buzzing around, I feel like, a lot lately. So the tagline of this one is really what drew me in. It says, what if you could bring your best friend back to life, but only for a short time? And then we're talking about Q, who doesn't know that he died, but and that he's about to die again, and like some kind of second chance with his parents or something. I don't know. Definitely sounds intriguing, and obviously we're going to be talking about some loss and grief and friendship, and yeah, I'm intrigued by that one for sure. This next one sounds so cute. So, Smash It by Francina Simone. Again, we have another author of color here. So this one is refreshingly authentic and bold. Don't miss this smashing Own Voices novel, filled with heart, humor, and a heroine to root for. So we have Liv, and she basically decides that she wants to totally smash her junior year, and she makes a fuck it list. Things that might be on it are: be bold, do things that scare you, or learn to take a compliment, or stand out instead of back. And so she is trying to go through this list, and obviously things kind of start happening for her, and she ends up with, what is it, like 3 different guys. What is she supposed to do when she gets dumped by a guy she's not even dating? How does one smash it after the humiliation of being friend-zoned? Just, you know, a lot of fun drama, but it just sounds really cute and fun, and I'm excited. So the next one we're going to talk about is by Nina LaCour, and I just read We Are Okay a couple months ago by her and really enjoyed that book. So she's coming out with Watch Over Me, and so I'm really excited to see what else she has out there and see if she's a new favorite author possibly for me. So this is about Mila, and she ages out of the foster system and ends up finding a job out in this like remote area, and so she's excited to take an opportunity where she can go and just be away from, I guess, the hubbub of everything. And it doesn't end up totally being everything that she thinks it's going to be. She wants it to be like this new, real feeling home for her that she just never has had. And there ends up being a lot of ghosts from other people's terrible past, and a lot of memories coming up for her. And I'm not sure if we mean real ghosts or just, you know, ghosts. But it sounds really interesting, especially because I know how well Nina LaCour has done it in the past. So next I have Charming as a Verb by Ben Phillipe. This is another author of color, and this one sounds really cute. We're following Halty, and Halty can charm just about anyone. He is a star debater and popular student at the prestigious Fate Academy. He's a dutiful first-generation Haitian son and the trusted dog walker for his wealthy New York City neighbors. His easy smile masks a burning ambition to attend his dream college, Columbia University. There's only one person who seems to be immune to his charms, and that is his intense classmate, Corinne Troy, also happens to be his neighbor. And she knows that his dog walking business is not so honest. And so she basically says, I'm going to tell everybody unless you help me to change my image at school. It says, this is a sharply funny and insightful novel about the countless hustles we have to keep from doing the hardest things, being ourselves. So it sounds like a fun, like, coming of age, like coming into ourselves kind of story. And I'm very much excited about that one. So next we're going to talk about Dating Makes Perfect by Pintip Dunn, and we have again another author of color. And this one sounds really fun and cute. It is about the Tech sisters, and they are not allowed to date in high school. And so 2 of the Tech sisters just went to college, and they are banning getting married for at least 10 years. They want to have the dating experiences they never were allowed to by their parents. And their parents just keep asking them, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? And they're like, no. So they end up having their youngest daughter practice fake dating in high school. And they use tropes from like favorite rom-coms and organize these like fake dates. And the first person that they decide to do this with is one of their longtime friends, Matt Song-Soon-boon. He is arrogant, infuriating, and way too good looking. And they've known each other since toddlers. So, yes, we may have a little hate to love in there. So that makes me excited even more because I do love hate to love. So this next one I'm like really excited. Really excited about. It has a lot of elements that just sound awesome. So we have The Unraveling of Cassidy, Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. And we have an author of color here as well. But this one is like, sounds really Daisy Jones and the Six type of a book, but with pop and 90s and, you know, we talk about like NSYNC and Britney Spears and like, I don't know. That's just like the time that I grew up in was the 90s and like the early 2000s. So that just hits me. And I obviously listen to Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys and just, yeah. And I love Taylor Jenkins Reid and I love Daisy Jones and the Six. So this one sounds awesome. We are following Sassy Gloss, and she is a part of the hottest pop group in America, and she's basically like hotter than all the other girls, and she ends up committing suicide, and her other bandmates are completely shocked. And this story also goes into kind of the dark side of Hollywood, and talks about, you know, some of the things that basically can unravel her. Drugs and the drama, the secrets, just all of that kind of dark side of Hollywood. And I am totally here for this. Like, I've got to get my hands on this one soon. Okay, so that was all 8 of my contemporary romances. Hey guys, so it's been a couple days because when I was recording this before, oh man, this video has just been interesting. It got cut off, and so when I looked at the time, it was just too late for me to go back and try to do this again. So we're here a couple days later to do the rest of this. So let's go ahead and get into the 9 fantasy and sci-fi books that are coming out in September that I am very excited for. So the first one we'll talk about is Crown Chasers. This one's by Rebecca Kauffman. This one says it's for fans of The Hunger Game, Aurora Rising, and 3 Dark Crowns. So it says, Alyssa Farshot has spent her whole life trying to outrun her family legacy. Her mother sacrificed everything to bring peace to the Quadrant, and her uncle has successfully ruled as emperor for decades. So pretty much she doesn't want to rule, but her uncle ends up dying, and he doesn't give her the throne, but he decides to do what's called a crown chase. And basically it hasn't been done in a really long time, but everybody's racing around the galaxy to find a relic of, or a seal of the throne. And Alyssa is favored to win because she is quite the adventurer and explorer, but she obviously doesn't want to win, but she feels like she has to give it her best shot because she owes it to her uncle. And it's kind of her journey, and it does turn a little deadly, it sounds like, along the way. So it should be pretty interesting. Next is Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. I know this author is really popular, and I haven't read anything by her, so I'm excited to get to one of her books, and this one sounds really good. And the cover is gorgeous as well. So this one is about the Carenza Federation has conquered a dozen countries, leaving Mara as one of the last free nations in the world. Refugees flee to its borders to escape a fate worse than death, transformation into mutant war beasts known as ghosts. Creatures the Federation then sends to attack Mara. So basically Mara's getting like obliterated, and we've got these legendary strikers who are trained to stop all of these monsters. So we have Talon, who is one of these strikers, and she refuses to give up, and basically they're getting just devastated, and then they come across this mysterious prisoner who is brought to the front, and there just seems to be something more to him than actually, you know, is being told. It says, is he a spy from the Federation, or could he be the weapon that will save them all? So we've got The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. This one sounds really interesting. We got these left-handed and right-handed booksellers, and the left-handed booksellers are good at fighting, and the right-handed ones are more intellectual. And so we're following Merlin, who's a left-handed bookseller, and then his sister, who's a right-handed bookseller, and they are trying to figure out who killed their mother. And then we also have Susan, who's looking for her missing father, and somehow those two paths are colliding, and they don't know why. They seem to be related in some way. This next one is a super popular one right now, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. He is the one that wrote Aragon. I haven't read any of his books before, but this one sounds very interesting. We're definitely starting out in more of a sci-fi kick here. This one says, Kira Navarez dreamed of life on new worlds, and now she's awakened a nightmare. So she goes to another uncolonized planet, and she ends up finding an old alien relic, and war begins to erupt, and there's just crazy stuff going on in the galaxy. Basically, Earth and its colonies are on the brink of extinction, and there's something going on with this relic, and yeah, it should be interesting. Alienness going on. So we have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is one of our authors of color. This one is about a 16-year-old girl who her mother ends up passing away, and she wants nothing to do with her childhood home, so she ends up going away to a boarding school, and when she's there, she ends up seeing some crazy flying demon, and this society called the Legendborn comes to take care of the demon, and usually they wipe the people who see them their memories, but it doesn't work on Bree, and so it ends up like igniting her own magic inside of her, and also she finds out that one of these Legendborn is with her mom around the time that she died, and there's just some secrets going out there, so she's trying to like infiltrate into this secret society. So the next one is by Amie Kauffman and Meagan Spooner, and I actually stumbled across this one because I really enjoyed Illuminae recently, and so I was looking for what other books Jay Kristoff and Amie Kauffman are writing, so I found The Other Side of the Sky. So this one says, Prince North's home is in the sky, in a gleaming city held aloft by intricate engines powered by technology. Nim is the living goddess of her people on the surface, responsible for providing answers, direction, and hope. Linked by a terrifying prophecy and caught between duty and fate, they must choose between saving their people or succumbing to the bond that is forbidden between them. So that sounds kind of interesting. I don't know if it's like a love thing where they can't like be with each other that way, or what the deal is. But yeah, should be interesting. Maybe a little angsty, I don't know. So we have Fable by Adrienne Young coming out also in September. Obviously that's what we're talking about, right? I really like the cover to this one with the red hair and the freckles on the girl and just like her face. I don't know. Anyways. It's getting later in the day, so I might just be getting weird. This one is about ooh, this is like my little piratey sounding one. She's like the daughter of this like powerful trader, and she grew up on the seas, and then she gets abandoned on an island by her father after her mom dies, and she has to figure out how to get off this island and go find her father and take revenge, and she like enlists the help of somebody else, but she's not sure if she can actually trust him. Yeah, sounds really interesting. I really am like wanting to get some pirate reads in or something. Maybe I just need to watch some Pirates of the Caribbean. Feeling those vibes right now. The next couple books are some sequels that I would like to read. So Wayward Witch is coming out by Zoraida Cordova. It is the third book in her Brooklyn Brujas series, and it's the last one. So each of the books actually follows a different sister within the family, and this one follows Rose, not going to say too much because obviously this is the last book, but each of the sisters is a witch. They have their own unique kind of powers and their own journey that they're following. And so I'm definitely excited to get to that one. Also, Blood and Honey is coming out by Shelby Mahurin, and I really love Serpent and Dove. I read that one a couple months ago. And again, another witchy kind of story. I really like stories with witches. And this one's following Lou, who is a witch that ends up married to a witch hunter, Reed, and we follow them in the first book, and they're like tricked into getting married and that kind of thing. And so this is the continuation of that series. Okay, that was it for the fantasy and sci-fi. So now we'll go ahead and run through the last 4 books, which are going to be mystery, thriller, and horror, and then we'll wrap this whole thing up. Next one up that we have is The Inheritance Games. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So in this one we have our main character is Avery, and out of the blue, she ends up inheriting all of this money by this billionaire, Tobias Hawthorne, who she's never known. She has no idea who this guy is. And the only thing is that she has to go and live in his mansion. But the rest of his family also lives there, and they are not too thrilled with the fact that his money went to some random stranger. And also, Tobias was super into puzzles and different stuff like that. So there's a lot of different puzzles and riddles that she's trying to figure out. And one of the family members thinks that she's a puzzle that they have to figure out. And it just sounds kind of interesting, and I don't know. We also have the next book by Ruth Ware coming out, One by One, and this one sounds really fun. It's like a avalanche-y type story. So it says, getting snowed in at a beautiful rustic mountain chalet doesn't sound like the worst problem in the world, especially when there's a breathtaking vista, a cozy fire, and company to keep you warm. But what happens when that company is 8 of your coworkers and you can't trust any of them? Snowed in and stuck. Almost kind of reminds me of No Exit, and I really liked that one. Hoping that means it'll be very interesting. So we also have Horrid by Katrina Leno coming up, and this one follows Jane, and her father ends up passing away, and her mother move back to her mom's childhood home, but there's something more going on, and her mom's acting weird, and there's a weird storage room that she goes into, and it's not really a storage room, it's like an untouched little kid's room. So kind of weird, and so I'm interested in reading something from her. I haven't read any of her books before. And for some reason, I feel like I have 5 books here, so maybe I miscounted or something. I don't know. I have to check this out. But I also have Don't Look for Me by Wendy Walker. And this one says, one night, Molly Clark walked away from her life. She doesn't want to be found, or at least that's the story. The car abandoned miles from home, the note found at a nearby hotel, and the shattered family that couldn't be put back together. They called it a walkaway. It happens all the time. Women disappear, desperate to leave their lives behind and start over. But is that what really happened to Molly Clark? So that sounds fun and interesting. Really good books coming out. Let me know if you guys are interested in any of these books, or if there's other books coming out that you're really interested in for September, or just anytime. But yeah, it was good talking to you guys, and I really hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I really hope this video worked, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.